Good afternoon, Minister of Transport, Deputy Minister, Deputy Director of Transport, esteemed CEO, Acting CEO of SAMSA, TNPA, thanks very much for the wonderful privilege of being able to speak to you today in relation to the celebration of seafarers. And I have to possibly start off with a bit of a story around how proud and respectful I am of seafarers. And it started at the beginning of COVID in 2020 in March, where I had the privilege of trying to find a home for 4,500 crew members, both South African and international, in South Africa and around the world. And I have to tell you that some of the challenges that we faced from a COVID perspective in South Africa, being locked down, not being able to buy cigarettes and that kind of stuff, was sort of equally seen, and in some cases even more difficult on board the vessels, because some people were in quarantine for 14 days in a cabin, that they had to go sort of spend the 14 days in that space. And I think for me, that was an incredible journey for each one of those seafarers to see the positive nature with which they took to the challenges that they faced, trying to get home to their loved ones, to their families. It was an incredible experience for me to sit with them and to talk with them every single day, trying to find them home, find their way home. And there were a lot of creative stories we had from some South Africans in Brazil, finding their own way back via Amsterdam, to a very esteemed crew member who was from Kyrgyzstan. So even with my extensive travel experience in 90 countries, I didn't manage to find where Kyrgyzstan was. For those of you that are very interested, it sits somewhere between Mongolia, China, and Tajikistan, out in Asia. And this crew member had to go home by about 7 different flights. So her journey was from Durban to Johannesburg, from Joburg to Qatar to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Belarus, and from Belarus through to Azerbaijan in Baku, and then finally home to Bishkek. All of 5 days worth of travel, and it was an incredible journey for us to try and get her home. But again, I celebrate the fact that the seafarers, and in particular, I have to tell you that some of the best seafarers to find their way home were South Africans. And I was incredibly proud working for an international organization that employed about 25,000 crew members, that the South Africans were by far the nicest, most diligent and respectful people I've ever had the privilege of working with on board our vessels. So I do share Tumelo's comments around the fact that I think that from a South African perspective, we have such a rich maritime history and 3,000 kilometers of coastline. It's something that we should definitely explore in order to try and achieve our own independence in terms of looking at what we can do for seafarers from a local perspective. And just talking about that from an MSC perspective globally as well, we're obviously embarking on a huge investment program in terms of building cruise ships. So we've gone from 12 cruise vessels in 2015 to our program plan in excess of 27 vessels through 2027. So that's a massive embarkation on an infrastructure growth program. And one of the centers for excellence that's been identified is South Africa. So we've opened up the Shore Shores Ocean Academy here in Durban, and Shore Shores Ocean Academy's primary goal is to place South Africans, in particular from previously disadvantaged communities, on board our vessels globally to ensure that they have employment and to place South Africa as a footprint for the maritime sector. And I think that's something for us to be very proud of in terms of the fact that there are only 7 other schools identified as a hub, and South Africa was one of them. And I even had the global chairman of MSC Cruises on the phone with me the other day, talking about the fact that our ultra-luxury division, the Explorer, is looking for crew members for 4 ships that they're going to be building between now and 2025. And one of the areas that they were focusing on is from a South African perspective. I think that the flow-through and the collaboration between business and SAMSA and the Department of Transport is hugely important. I also had the privilege of working with our Department of Transport colleagues through COVID, and I found them to be incredibly practically minded and very, very diligent in wanting to ensure that seafarers were respected and obviously also brought back and also engaged from an employment perspective. So I salute the Department of Transport in terms of their methods in terms of this, and look to have that collaboration between business, government, and the maritime sector in terms of safety, to look towards trying to grow the opportunities for young South Africans to be placed on board in any sphere of influence. Dr. Lunga spoke about my extensive travel experience. It's come at a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice, but it has led me to understand that the world is only as strong as its youth. And it's very important that we acknowledge the fact that what we produce through the pipeline leads us to our leaders in the future. And I think that that's an important message for each one of you sitting here. Don't neglect your studies, be positive about it, and you can one day be successful and travel the world as much as anyone has ever done before. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it and respect the fact that you've given your time. And everyone will go.